Back to Margaritas in Paradise. I have Ian from England here, and we're going to do another Everybody Has a Story interview. And anyway, I want to welcome you, Ian.
Nice to be here, Tom.
Okay, and why don't we start out with you just telling me something about you, maybe some background information, that type of thing there.
Yeah, well, I came here originally from a work perspective. I came on holiday with a wife 15 years ago, and I've worked across Southeast Asia, and we actually came out here on vacation. And when we went back to the UK after the vacation, I started searching the internet to find out the nearest port, which was Laemchabang, and applied for a job and moved back out here 3 months after we got home, and been here ever since. Since left Thai company I was working for at Laemchabang, left there 4 years ago, set up my own company, steel fabrication place. So no, everything's good. So it's a working perspective rather than a tourist perspective.
Yeah, fantastic. What were you doing before you moved to Thailand?
Working for a company refining oil, which is kind of a little bit out of my main industry, which is tank containers and moving chemicals about. But anyhow, I got involved in and set up an oil refinery company, and doing the engineering behind that. Got a good bonus, and that's what brought me here. So,
what is it that made you move to Pattaya,
because it's proximity to
because of
no point in me living in Bangkok or Hua Hin.
Right.
So from a works perspective, it's 20 minutes drive down the road.
So why aren't you living up there?
Nothing there.
Nothing there. Okay.
Japanese. Lots of Japanese live up there.
Okay.
So no, it's a case of having to be where expats are. So.
Okay. And what do you think? What's your general impression of Pattaya?
It's pretty good. You can always say it's not as good as it used to be. I haven't been here for 15 years, but it's better than where you come from.
Right.
So it's changing, and it's evolving all the time. And the way I see it now, you've got what used to be nice resorts. They're getting knocked down, and they're building big skyscraper hotels. And that side of it's kind of losing its character. But this area in Mongamat as well, there was three tall condominium blocks. Now there's 17 or 18 in the last count. But okay, it is what it is, but it's still better than...
Yeah. So do you miss England?
I miss the family in England.
Sure.
As for missing England, no.
Right.
No.
Okay.
Proud of the country, proud of the history.
In 15 years, you found a way to adapt well.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, excellent. Dog or cat?
Definitely dog.
Dog. All right. Any reason why?
No, but I've had dogs all my life, but I like dogs that go woof and not dogs that go yap.
Right, I understand.
Proper dog.
Right, exactly.
But condominium, you can't have one, which I kind of miss. But.
If you were talking to somebody that was considering moving here to Thailand or Pattaya in general, okay, do you think that they would need a car or a motorbike while living here in Thailand?
Horses for courses. I definitely need a car for work.
Right.
So if you just want to stay local and you don't want to go travelling about, then fine. The taxis, you can always get from A to B while you're here, whether it's Bolt taxi, whether it's whatever. The transport's not an issue. If you're going to be regularly travelling, then yeah, car's fine. It's down to your individual needs.
Exactly. So if you're local, you can use like the Bolt app, for instance.
You can jump on a BART bus and you can go right the way down to the opposite end of the city and come all the way back for the sake of 10 baht.
Right.
So how can you justify...
Yeah, 10 baht. What a deal, huh?
So, how can you justify buying a car and all the expense and the worry about accidents and all the rest of it when for 10 baht you can go right the way down the other end of town and all the way back?
So if you buy a car, what type of additional expenses do you have?
Well, you've got the insurance, the same as you would have at home.
Right. So insurance, registration.
Yeah.
You have to worry about a driver's license.
Of course.
That type of stuff.
More than most.
right, right.
More than a lot of people do.
Yeah, you're getting checked a lot here. So, all right, yeah. Do you have any recommendations concerning or what's your thoughts about medical insurance here in Thailand? Is that something that's needed?
Probably yes. But I sit back and I look at this medical insurance side of things, and it kind of gives the hospitals a license to keep you in overnight. The more the hospitals are businesses out there.
All right.
And of course, my background in the UK, I'm used to the national health, where everything doesn't revolve around money. The hospitals are not out to get anything from you. But over here, you can go in with an ingrowing toenail, and the moment you show them an insurance policy, they want to keep you in, for as long, and they'll find something else as well.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody respond that way.
I find that the local GP clinic, so to speak, I mean, you're going for 500 baht, and they'll give you pretty good treatment or recommendations if you fall over and sprain your wrist or you have a nasty cut, and they'll treat you and do that. So that's ridiculously cheap. But
yeah,
these big international hospitals,
right?
Basically, it's a business.
Sure.
So the moment they see an insurance policy, so
do you think, let's say a 50-year-old man or woman that arrives here in Thailand, been here for a year, and they're in pretty good health overall, they're active. Do you think that they would probably need medical insurance?
The answer to that is probably yes. I had a problem, I was worried about something, and they went out and said, oh yeah, you've got a growth or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I would actually go back to the UK.
Right.
And it's purely because of what I mentioned before about hospitals here being money orientated rather than...
Sure.
The hospitals out here, they take what do we call it in the UK? It's a Hippocratic oath.
Right.
There's a hypocritical oath.
Right. Yeah. So, I get that. Right. As many of you have already heard, you can buy me a cup of coffee. There's a link in the description below. Check that out. I have other links in the description as well to save you money. We already talked about the Bolt app. There's a link in there for that. Definitely check out the description. And then if you haven't liked or subscribed, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate that. All right. So Ford or Toyota?
Ford.
Ford. All right. I get a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. And they ask me about how do I transfer money? If they have an account, let's say in England or the USA, how do they transfer money from one point to the other? Do you have any recommendations for that?
Easy answer for me. I haven't got a clue.
Really?
Because mine goes the other way.
Because nothing comes from overseas.
No.
It's all here.
I produce it here and some of it goes back.
Yeah.
But not all the times. But
well, how do you send it back?
I send it back to the UK. The good one over in Thailand is a company called Dee Money.
Dee Money. Okay.
And as much as I've heard other expats speaking to get money sent from over there to over here, Wise seems to be the popular choice. But having said, I don't use it, don't need it.
Okay. Okay. What kind of visa do you have, and is this something that you handle yourself, or do you get an agent to take care of it for you?
Yeah, I've got a business visa, and it's my accountant stroke solicitor that just takes care of that. And reminds me when it's renewed. From anybody contemplating coming over here, the answer to your question whether you're coming over a retirement visa or anything else, will always get an agent to do it.
Yeah,
shop around for the right agent, for the simple reason that I've seen so many people that go down to immigration and they've got all the right paperwork because it says so they've looked on the internet and looked it up, and they take it, and immigration will backheel it for anything.
Right.
Where it's the reverse if you get an agent to do it. You can have little bits missing and it'll sail through it. So it's worth paying a little bit extra and getting an agent.
Right. It's absolutely. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the immigration department would rather have 10 agents in the office than 1,000 people.
Sure. How did you adjust to the climate initially?
Probably took me about 2 or 3 weeks. But I used to work. I've worked in Busan and Korea and Malaysia and Singapore, so I pretty knew much what to expect. And it's not the heat that gets you. Mediterranean heat is nice and dry, so you can sit out there in 30, 40 degrees, no problem.
Sure.
It can be cloudy here, and it can be 28 degrees,
Right.
but it's the humidity that gets you.
Right.
And that isn't 12 months of the year. It's only during the rainy season you get the high humidity.
Right.
December, January, it's a lot drier heat.
Yeah.
And no, that's no problem.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It's a good excuse to go for another drink.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, would you have any suggestions if somebody was preparing to move to Thailand? Okay, maybe somebody you knew, or somebody asked you, they had a friend that was moving to Thailand. You've been here for the last 15 years. Do you have any suggestions of what they should do prior to coming here, or something that you wish you would have done?
A lot of research. It's not going to make you know everything about Pattaya. I've lived here 15 years. There's guys who I've spoken to for 30 years, and I'm on the line. I could live here for another 40 years and still not know everything.
Right.
But what annoys me is when you got somebody who's been here 4 times on holiday for a month at a time, and they think they know everything about absolute rubbish.
Right.
Complete and utter rubbish. There's so many do's and don'ts, and I watched one of your excellent videos about the do's and don'ts and being polite and
Right.
and the head and the feet, and also these are the things, the very, very important things that you gotta understand.
Yeah.
So learn them before you come out here.
Yeah.
Make an effort to try and learn the language a little bit as well, even if it's only the little things, the yes please, the no thank yous. They appreciate that.
I agree. Yeah, and this is concerning cost of living and budgeting. Do you have anything to comment about that or recommend? Cost of living here, for instance. Do you think it's reasonable? Is it high? What do you think?
Comparable to the UK, relatively inexpensive. Utility bills are a fraction of what they are in the UK.
Sure.
Food-wise, if you want to eat Western food, you can pay over the odds for it over here. Same as beer and wine. Wine's ridiculously expensive. If you want to eat like the locals do, you can get by on a few shekels a month.
Right.
But it depends exactly how you want to live, and if you can adapt to sort of Thai food and so on and so forth, that's fine, no problem. But on the whole, general living expenses and probably the same in the States, your electric bills, your water bills, and your heating and your utility stuff. In the States, it's probably gone up through the roof. Here, It's increased. It's increased about 30-40%.
Probably so.
But it's still only 10% of what I'd be paying in the UK.
Yeah, had several questions come up concerning cost of living, and I made a comment at one point. Somebody could live here on $1,000 US a month, wanted to, and that would be what it's like 800 British pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is that doable? Do you think, or what do you think?
Hey,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
You don't have to live in a condominium right next to the beach. You can get a room further in town, or even just on the suburbs, but further away from the sea. So you tend to do what your budget will allow you to do.
Right.
But certainly within 800 pounds sterling a month there.
Yeah.
It depends how much beer you drink.
Sure. Yeah, it depends on your lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay. So what do you think, beer or wine?
Beer.
Yeah. I knew that was, I knew that's the one you were going to say.
I'm not adverse to wine, I'm not adverse to anything, but yeah, beer's pretty much it.
All right, okay. There's accommodations here in Pattaya, Thailand. We have a choice. We can, like, for us, we live right on the ocean. But you could live further in town, or you could even live over on the dark side in East Pattaya. Do you have any recommendations there?
Again, it comes down to personal lifestyle and what you want to do. I actually feel we used to live in a house over on the dark side, Tom.
Right.
And we actually got burgled twice over there.
Really?
Even though it was in a village. But the security the night we got burgled, strangely enough, the cameras weren't working. Wow. But you're going to get this anywhere in the world. In a condominium block, I've never ever heard of anybody getting burgled who's living in a condo.
Sure.
Never.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, valid point.
And that's the reason why.
So
I like living in
security,
a house. I'd have a couple of big dogs. But,
right?
but you know, from a working perspective, obviously that rules that out. But a condominium's fine for me. So
Right. And then, and a size of a place, does that really matter? Do you
Not
need a
to-
mansion, or
No.
do you need enough to? You're using the room for sleeping for the most part.
Yeah, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I shower, I change, I go to work. I come back home, I get what's showered, and I'm straight back out.
Right.
So basically, I just need somewhere to sleep. If you're here on a retirement basis and you don't particularly go out a great deal and you're watching a load of them, then live in comfort and adapt. That's your lifestyle. Then you want a nice pad to live in.
The area offer adequate means to find companionship in Pattaya, Thailand.
Yes.
Yes.
But do your research first.
But do your research. All
yeah,
right.
it goes back to a previous question.
Right.
And it also answers a lot of those people that know everything and know all the girls, and they all know the girls tick. And every time you always say, oh, but this one's different.
Yeah.
They're all different.
Yeah, they're all different. And how about friends? Is it
It's
easy to
fine.
meet friends?
Yeah, you've got to, I don't know what it's like in the States, but in the UK, you go into a bar, if you're a stranger in that bar and you happen to be inadvertently looking at someone, and you always can feel a little bit intimidated. And, who are you looking at? God, I don't need all it. Over here, I don't know whether it's because the guys are a lot more relaxed in any bar because they've all got girls, and girls are always available. Then, there's that testosterone level seems to be a lot lower,
right,
regarding being aggressive. Because, especially if you go into a bar in the UK and there's sort of one pretty girl and 25 ugly ones, and a load of single guys are all sort of hankering after but here that doesn't apply.
right.
So,
right.
because there's less competition, this is a simplistic way of looking at it. If there's less competition, then the guys aren't going to want to fight. So I think that answers I can't remember what the original question was, or whether I've wandered off the subject. But
yeah, we were going after companionship and your social circle, so to speak, of being able to. I mean, a lot of people are concerned. They live wherever they're from, and they have maybe a handful of friends. They have 5 friends, and they're like brothers and sisters to them. They're part of their family, and they do everything with them. And then they come over here, and they're thinking to themselves, what did they do? They left all their friends. They left their family behind. And now what are they going to do?
Yeah, good point. But no, you can pretty much walk into any bar, and if there's a couple of guys, and within seconds you can end up speaking it, irrespective of whether the Swedish or German, and there's a modicum of English. And like I say, it's kind of relaxed, so you can get to speak to everybody.
Sure.
If you speak to people the right way, they'll respond accordingly.
And here I'm putting another thing in there on Leo's. Probably where we met, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Leo's Bar. The thing there is, every time you walk in, basically you greet everybody that's in there, and before you leave, you greet them again. You let them know you're leaving, and
it's a melting pot of different nationalities in there. You walk in there, there'll be a Norwegian that's come over, or a Swede, and it goes on. So, yeah, it's
you're exactly. That's a great.
You're only a stranger once in most of the bars here.
How about do you cook in, or do you
eat out?
Eat out. Is that 100%?
100%.
All right. Yeah. So and Thai cuisine, we kind of touched on that earlier, but do you like it?
Yeah. But there's a lot of Thais and a lot of street food out here that are catering for Westerners as well. So there's up to 9 kebab stalls and things like that.
Right. Kebabs are everywhere.
50, 60 baht.
Sure.
It fills you up. There's obviously international restaurants also. You can go and spend, $30, $40, $50 for a meal.
Yeah.
I can spend $1 for a meal.
Exactly.
But I eat out without a doubt every time.
All right.
It's far cheaper than.
Do you have any recommendations if you were going to plug somebody's food or a restaurant? Would you suggest them trying someplace?
Every time I do that, the chef's taken ill or something goes wrong. So
no. Vegemite or butter?
Right. From an English point of view, we don't have Vegemite, we have Marmite.
Right. Marmite.
That's nice for certain things, but butter's got to go on everything.
So it's butter?
Definitely butter.
All right. Yeah. I agree. Do you find it easy to find things to do during your off time?
I never have any off time. So, because I'm working sort of 60, 70 hours physically a week.
Sure.
And then, because it's my company, IACI Company Limited.
No. Okay, wait a minute. We'll go back to that.
No, I don't tend to get a great deal of free time. I used to do a lot of photography before, so this is when I was working for the Thai company. So as an employee, you can tend to get a lot more free time. So much to do here. If you have that amount of free time, whether you want to take up golfing, there's archery clubs, there's bowls clubs, there's countless things to do without going into bar. Even if you're completely teetotal, you don't need to. There's enough to do here regardless.
Right. Pattaya is really known for its nightlife and maybe the adult-themed areas.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to do.
There is a lot more. There's archery clubs, there's shooting clubs, there's bowling clubs.
Right.
There's probably model aeroplane and chess clubs if you look hard enough.
Yeah.
There's certainly like bridge clubs and people who want to play cards, even though you can't gamble here. But no, I can't think of an area so condensed that has so many things to do, because a lot of expats that have come over here, whose hobby it was in the UK or the States, they've brought that here with them.
Sure.
And similar like-minded people thought, oh, why don't we get a team together and do this? And then it sort of snowballs from there. Then you get these little sports clubs opening up or social things.
Sure. So, and so on. So
there's Rotary clubs out here. So on and so forth. They're international, and obviously they've got a foothold here as well.
Right. So do you go to the bars, nightclubs, any music venues, anything like that in the evenings? From
my point of view, being here 15 years, for the first, I was going to say 5 years, probably a little bit longer than that, then I was wandering into town and enjoying the soy bukaos but as time's gone on and things have changed, and I've been there, I've seen that, I've done that. So now I tend to stick local and have a few beers. And then from my perspective, that suits my lifestyle, that probably triggered off by COVID, when bars had to close at a certain time. I've kind of got in the habit, so I'll go have a few beers and then go home sort of 10 o'clock, I'm back in the room again.
Right.
But no, pretty much just local.
So you're in a pretty good routine of kind of staying in your neighborhood.
Pretty predictable, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then you're home at a certain time. You probably go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time.
Got to sound boring, don't I? Yeah, but
it's just a daily routine. That's healthy.
And it has to be that way because of work, obviously. So.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Do you have any recommendations that somebody should go to that's a don't miss type thing to do here in Pattaya?
You've got to experience the bright lights downtown and where it's busy every night, and terrific atmosphere.
Right.
And you can soon come away completely penniless at the end of a few nights down there. The expat bars, the further you get away from the centre of town, you might find a sports bar, or it'll just be a general expat bar or a little music bar.
Right.
That hasn't got all the glitz and the glamour and feel as if you're getting your wallet's getting raped every time you walk in.
Sure.
The further out of town that you get, and we live in a wonderful area called Wongamat, that there's a smattering of small bars about. You can go in and you're comfortable, you're not going to get hounded, and you're not going to be, hey, sexy man, and buy me a drink.
Right.
If you want that, then fine, go into town, and there's an awful lot of those. From my point of view, I like to go and see friends, and they're all around. I can go down to there's a beach right on the bar there that's tremendous if you...
Yeah, Bamboo Beach Bar.
Bamboo Beach Bar, yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So you can sit there and watch a beautiful sunset and
Right.
and watch some of those nice...
It's 200 meters away from me, and it's probably the best. I mean, I have a great sunset every night myself, but I can go down there and watch even a better one. So
yeah, that's fabulous.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right. So you have any hobbies?
Don't have time.
No time for hobbies?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
Shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Completely boring. Photography was one, but when I had time, but
right.
I really just couldn't go to work, come out, chill out, relax, and have a few beers and get something nice to eat and go back. And I'm going to have to change my habits, I'm afraid.
If there was anything that you could change about Pattaya and you had the power to change it?
Traffic. Traffic needs sorting out a little bit because in the high season, you can't drive from here to wherever without getting stuck in a traffic jam.
Yeah.
But that's their infrastructure problem. There's nothing we can do about that.
Right.
It's change your mode of transport.
What's the hardest thing to deal with here in Thailand?
Bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy, yeah.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Immigration. It doesn't matter whether it's immigration or the local tax people or whoever it is. They all have shares in lumber yards and timber yards.
Right.
For making and paper mills. Because they'll generate so much paper and everything's got to be done. Half a dozen copies of everything.
Sure.
And that's it. Yeah, without a doubt.
You mentioned you had family.
Yeah, my family's pretty much all grown up and doing their own thing. And the daughters are all quite happy over there and settled. And yes, they've been over several times.
So they've been over to visit with you? Here?
Yeah.
What do they think about you being here? Do they like it, or are they happy for you, or?
I think so. Whether you get an honest answer, I suppose you've got to ask them. Yeah, leave Dad over there. He's better off over there on his own.
Do you take advantage of technology as far as communicating?
That's the only way we comment. FaceTime or whatever like that.
Right.
Have a conversation for an hour or whatever. Even if it's a 2-minute thing, did you sleep well last night? Blah, blah, blah. Usual routine. So from my perspective, there's not a great deal extra to say, but it's nice to catch up on what's happening at home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gone are the days where you have to go down to find a phone box and put money in. And
from the English standpoint, there's traditional English holidays.
Yes.
And do you celebrate those here?
A lot of people do when it comes down to Christmas and New Year and so on and so forth. And you kind of join in. And when I came out as an employee, then yes, I was getting time off at Easter, time off for Christmas and New Year. New Year's celebrated here, regardless anyhow. It's a public holiday. As for standard holidays in the US and the UK, where you get 4 weeks annual leave and time to do this and switch off from work, unfortunately, I don't get it.
What do you think is one of the best decisions you've ever made in life?
Possibly, I could quite easily say moving to Thailand.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's up there. But
yeah, you're not. How far away from retirement are you?
I'm actually 61, so I've got no plans of inclination to retire. It's entirely my choice.
That's a doable option.
It is a doable option. You tend to choose your right time in your life when you want to retire, and because it's my company, I've got responsibilities to staff, so I can't just walk away from that. If I was an employee, then I can hand the notice in and retire. Unfortunately, I can't do that. So
people coming here to Thailand, they see the environment and the atmosphere and everything, and it truly is paradise. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to retire. But people will think, they're working in England or the U.S. and they've been working as a welder for the last 20 years. Can they expect to come here and move their family here and go out and find a job as a welder? Completely impossible. Impossible? Completely impossible. Now, why is that? You have got to... Thailand in one way has got it right, which the UK certainly hasn't. I can't speak for America, but they will take care of Thai nationals. So as a foreigner, you cannot come over here and do what a Thai can do. Right. However, you can get around it, and you hit on a good point with the welding.
side of it, you can come out here and form your own company.
Right.
And have a fabrication company, because then you're going to create employment for Thais.
Right. Sure.
So in the same respect, as you've got to be seen to be in a managerial position or a company owner. You could be the greatest truck driver in the world or the greatest fork truck driver.
Right.
And it doesn't matter. You will not get employment. Unless you've got a company like DHL here that follow international safety standards. So if you're a driving instructor, for example, in a haulage company,
right,
if DHL wants, they can prove a point to the local employment people here that, yes, we've got a European guy who's got a background in driver safety and all the rest of it. We want him. He would be an asset to our company. Right. You can get in that way, but it's very, very few and far between.
Meat or tofu?
Oh, God, meat. What is tofu?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah.
How do you grow it?
Yeah, cultivated. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I've seen it in little tubes.
Right. Yeah. At the salad bar, there's something marked tofu, and
no.
I've wondered what it tastes like.
No.
Okay.
Big no.
What other countries have you visited?
From the UK's point of view, I've only ever travelled east. Worked across Europe. I've worked in India, worked in Singapore. I've worked in Malaysia, and obviously now work in Thailand.
Right.
I've never been the others. Never travelled west. Sorry, Tom. Never been to the States.
It's okay, but you're always welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ice cold beer?
Ice cold beer. You're darn right.
Okay.
What makes you happy?
Waking up breathing every morning. As long as I wake up breathing every morning, then everything else is a bonus.
Yeah, you had a new day to start.
Yeah.
Start your life again in a great place.
Yeah.
What's next in your life?
To continue waking up breathing every morning.
Oh, you're really dodging questions.
No, I'm not. From my company's point of view, is to employ some more guys and take care of some others and kind of leave a legacy behind of what you're doing.
Okay, so following in that, tell me about your company. I
have 1,000 square meter steel fabrication. So as long as it's made out of metal, we'll make it, whether it's a bespoke product or otherwise. We kind of specialise in doing container modifications for the fire training industry. We've done those. Now, what we've kind of developed on, I looked around and saw electric vehicle charging points and electric cars. They're everywhere now.
Yeah.
And everybody was kind of missing out on bikes and electric scooters.
Right.
They're becoming the norm.
Now you're talking bicycles or?
Electric bicycles. Electric scooters and
right.
so on and so on. I've got one.
Right.
You've
I've seen it. Right.
And a wonderful range of them. The problem being is everybody's taking the batteries off and taking them in the condos and charging them and so on and so forth.
Right.
And I came up with a concept of solar-powered charging station. Charging stations includes a whole range of different bikes and scooters.
Right.
And predominantly for the likes of resorts and local municipalities, and put one in the park. Right. And it comes complete with a whole range of scooters and whatever they want in it. And it's progressed from being a little concept to now I'm getting inquiries popping up from Saudi Arabia, of all places.
Wow.
To Hong Kong, to local municipalities and resorts in Phuket.
Yeah, that's great.
So hopefully that all kicks off, and because it's solar powered, it's sort of a standalone feature. Right. People like to wave the green flag now and say, "Hey, we're out sustainability."
I love the aspect of solar power, and so the name of the company is
the bicycle side of it. The electronic bikes and the solar powered stations are going to be e-zeego.
e-zeego.
E on its own with a hyphen and
right.
zeego.
e-zeego. Yeah, excellent. And there's going to be a website, and
the website will be it's in creation now, and that'll be up and running within the next few weeks.
Okay, so kind of if you're interested in this here, I'll put it in the description later, and you can, if you have any information or interest in it, you can contact Ian directly, and I'll have his contact information in the description as well. So just something to think about. The electric bicycles, I've thought about having one before, and they're all over Thailand, all over Pattaya, as well as the scooters, and then they have these. What's the little two-wheel things that?
Oh, that's the little kick scooters.
Right.
They're becoming more and more popular.
They're popular too.
They'll get more popular as local municipalities start to smooth the pavements of the sidewalks, as you call them. Mine's like a big adventure bike. It's as big as a mountain bike.
Sure.
And I'm getting some big Harley-style electric machines coming over as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Lobster or crayfish?
Lobster.
Lobster. All right. Yeah.
Definitely lobster.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
We have literally covered everything I think that we can possibly cover.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to do this interview.
My
Help
pleasure.
me out with this here.
The check's in the post, by the way.
Right. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Hit the like button if you want to be notified when new videos are coming out, and we have more interviews coming out. You can hit the little bell, and it'll give you the notifications.